You know, times certainly have changed since car makers introduced most of their new models at the same time in the fall. Now new cars and trucks show up all year long, so there's always something new on our Motorweek keyring. So let's see what hot new models these fit. Few sets of car keys get us as excited as those for a new Porsche. And this time it's the 2006 Porsche 911 Carrera 4 and the Carrera 4S all-wheel drive coupes. Already legendary as the most sure-footed of street Porsches, these latest versions use a revised all-wheel drive system with a new multi-plate viscous coupling, an open structure front propeller shaft, and new gear ratios. Traction and control are further enhanced by new Porsche Stability Management System features. PSM now pre-fills the brake system, eliminating the air gap between pad and rotor, cutting reaction time for hard braking. Also, if the driver taps the brakes quickly, a hydraulic pump adds extra pressure to bring the brakes into ABS range for optimal stopping control. And the already impressive monoblock brake calipers and cross-drilled disc can be traded for optional ceramic composite brakes. Suspension hardware is appropriately beefed up, with the front McPherson layout getting new constant speed drive shafts, swivel bearings, and high-load springs and struts. A driver-controlled Porsche active suspension management system is optional on the Carrera 4 and standard on the Carrera 4S. The flat 6 engine arrives in two versions. In the C4, the power plant displaces 3.6 liters with 325 horsepower. The higher spec C4S uses the larger 3.8-liter engine with 355 horsepower. For an extra boost, the available Sport Chrono package offers higher performance engine and transmission mapping, all at the push of a button.
The 911 is such an amazing handling car to begin with. Add all-wheel drive to that, like in the C4 and C4S, and you wind up with a performance package that will just rocket you through turns.
Outside, the C4S has a deeper front fascia, and both all-wheel drive Carreras wear more muscular rear bodywork to cover a wider track, larger fuel tank, and bigger wheels. Inside, the C4 and C4S interiors are also nicely refined with higher-grade leather and aluminum look trim. And the standard Porsche Communication Management System offers expanded capabilities, including an electronic trip recorder. The C4 and C4S hit showrooms this fall. The Carrera 4 will cost $77,000, while the Carrera 4S goes for $87,000. Big money, but for serious all-wheel drive performance. What do you do if you're Saab and you're losing 30% of your notoriously loyal customer base to family-sized SUVs? Well, you introduce a family-sized SUV of your own. And since you happen to be a part of General Motors, the quickest way is to borrow one from your parents. The result is the 2006 Saab 97X, and it is based on the GM 360 body-on-frame chassis, or Trailblazer in Yukon to you and I. Saab engineers knew going in that it would take an extensive reworking to please Saab loyalists, so they spent 2 years refining the ride and handling and Saabifying the exterior and interior. Did it work? Well, based on our first day behind the wheel on a drive through Quebec, we can say we are pleasantly surprised. The much revised suspension is both lower and firmer and makes for a ride that's much flatter in the corners, more responsive, and overall just more fun. Revised steering and improved brakes are also part of the package. The 97X responds the way we think a European-designed SUV should. Inside the 97X is where its new Saabness is most at work. The ignition switch was relocated to the console between the seats, just where Saab owners like it. And the familiar driver-oriented, aircraft-inspired center control stack houses all the usual amenities, along with Saab joystick vents and still the trickiest cup holder in the industry. But hey Saab, what about the seats? These certainly aren't the super supportive Swedish seats we've become accustomed to. Outside, the Saabification is most obvious dead on front and rear. The new grille, headlight, and taillight treatments are nice disguise, as is the plastic trim on the D-pillar. In profile, it is still a GM SUV, but then if Lexus can get away with badge engineering, why not Saab? However, this is a much classier effort than the 92X Subaru. Indeed, the 97X is the best-looking mid-sized GM Ute since the Oldsmobile Bravada.
Overall, I think the Saab engineers did a good job of taking the chassis and making it a Saab, but the true test will be whether the Saab loyalists will embrace it as one of their own.
Powertrains include a 290 horsepower 4.2-liter inline-six and a 300 horsepower 5.3-liter V8. Both connect to a 4-speed automatic and fully automatic all-wheel drive system. The 97X is arriving at dealers right now, starting at around $40,000. And we'll have more first impressions soon as we turn a few more new sets of car keys.